Rob Warren and Sophie Sierra still have a spark. Should they try again after 90 Day, the last resort? Fans of 90 Day Fiancé have followed the highs and lows of Rob Warren and Sophie Sierra's relationship from the beginning. Over time, their journey has been unpredictable, emotional, and at times heartwarming. Now that they've appeared on 90 Day, the last resort, it's clear their story isn't as over as they once believed. Despite all the conflict and confusion, there's an undeniable energy between them that suggests they might still have a future together if they're willing to explore it. Their romance has been anything but easy. From cultural clashes and trust issues to personal insecurities, they've navigated a lot. But throughout it all, Rob and Sophie have shown an emotional connection that just won't go away, no matter how far apart they try to stay. From different backgrounds to shared challenges, Rob and Sophie debuted on 90 Day Fiancé in 2023, and their story continued on Happily Ever After in 2024. Their relationship, like many others on the show, began across borders. Rob, from Los Angeles, and Sophie, from the United Kingdom, came from very different worlds. Sophie grew up with more financial stability and a polished lifestyle, while Rob lived modestly in an apartment that didn't even have a connected bathroom, a major culture shock for Sophie when she moved to the US. Sophie's reaction to the living conditions was rooted in genuine discomfort, but Rob seemed to interpret her concerns as criticism. The result? A breakdown in communication that would continue to cause tension throughout their relationship. Their core issue wasn't lack of love, it was compatibility. And yet, love often brings people back together, even when logic says otherwise. The reunion that raised eyebrows when Rob and Sophie appeared on 90 Day, the last resort season 2's tell-all special, they arrived separately and confirmed they were no longer together. That wasn't surprising, given they had chosen to part ways during the recommitment ceremony at the end of the season. But what did catch fans off guard was the revelation that the pair had reconnected after filming ended. Though they had gone months without speaking, they eventually began spending time together again. They attempted to build a friendship, even enjoying a trip to Disneyland together. According to Sophie, it was during these moments of casual companionship that her feelings for Rob began to resurface. Rob, meanwhile, admitted he didn't want to read too much into it. He didn't want to get his hopes up, despite enjoying their time together. The two shared that this reconnection briefly led them into romantic territory again. However, before filming the tell-all, they had ended things once more, unsure of where they stood. Still, their interactions during the special revealed just how strong their connection remains. Subtle signals and familiar comfort. Throughout the reunion, fans couldn't help but notice the comfortable rapport between Rob and Sophie. They joked, smiled, and had a certain ease with each other, something you can't fake after a real breakup. Sophie even shared details about her new personal changes, and Rob showed support and appreciation, albeit with a tinge of surprise. He remarked that she seemed to be thriving now that they were apart. He acknowledged feeling slightly thrown off by how she was presenting herself, more confident, more expressive. Sophie, for her part, seemed to enjoy the attention. It was a moment that reminded fans of their playful dynamic, the same spark that once drew them together in the first place. Their exchanges, while lighthearted on the surface, hinted at a deeper emotional current. Rob seemed torn, happy for Sophie's progress, but unsure of where he stood in her life. Sophie, meanwhile, appeared just as conflicted. Emotional baggage still lingers. After their brief attempt at reconnection, both Rob and Sophie moved on to new relationships. Rob began dating someone new, and the fact that his new partner was also British didn't go unnoticed by Sophie. She teased him about it, clearly surprised by the coincidence and perhaps a little unsettled. Sophie admitted that hearing about Rob's new relationship affected her emotionally. While she didn't claim to want him back at that point, her response suggested that she hadn't fully closed the door on their connection. Rob dismissed the idea that he was looking to replace Sophie with someone similar, insisting that the nationality of his new partner was purely coincidental. Still, the exchange showed that there were some lingering feelings on both sides. Even if they weren't openly admitting it, their reactions to each other's choices spoke volumes. Divorce may be on the table, but is it really the end? Both Rob and Sophie agreed during the tell-all that moving forward with divorce seemed inevitable. They acknowledged that it was time to create space and allow themselves to heal separately. But even as they said the words, their body language told another story. It's clear that ending the relationship hasn't been easy for either of them. They've tried to let go, only to find themselves drawn back into each other's orbit. And while they say they're ready to move on, their actions suggest they're still figuring out what moving on actually looks like. There's something about their bond that refuses to disappear. Maybe it's the shared history. Maybe it's the comfort of knowing someone so well. Or maybe it's something more, something they haven't been able to fully define yet. Why they might still be right for each other. Relationships are rarely black and white, and Rob and Sophie's journey proves that. They've dealt with cultural differences, lifestyle clashes, emotional misunderstandings, and difficult transitions. But they've also shown resilience. They've laughed, supported one another, and kept coming back, even when it would have been easier to just walk away. Their story may not follow the typical fairy tale structure, but there's something deeply human about it. It's the kind of story that doesn't end cleanly because the people in it still care. Whether it's romantic or not, Rob and Sophie's connection remains strong. And sometimes that's worth paying attention to. If they were to try again, things would have to be different. They'd need more open communication, a better understanding of each other's needs, and mutual respect for their individual growth. But if both are willing to meet each other halfway, there's a chance they could make it work, this time with more maturity and insight. Could the door still be open? The road Rob and Sophie have traveled together has been long and complicated. Yet, it's also been filled with moments of real emotion. The tell-all didn't just rehash their past. It revealed how much of that past is still influencing their present. Their shared glances, subtle jokes, and underlying affection hinted at a relationship that still holds weight in their lives. Whether or not they decide to give it another try, it's clear they're not indifferent to each other. They may be separated, and divorce might be looming, but their hearts haven't fully disconnected. Time will tell whether they decide to start a new chapter together or finally close the book for good. Either way, fans will be watching, hoping for healing, cheering on their growth, and wondering what might happen next.